anything like me and you have dry, mature skin, you know how important skin prep is to get that smooth, hydrated, long-lasting makeup look. Today I'm going to share with you how I prep my skin before makeup, using products that hydrate, smooth, and make your foundation last the entire day, especially not settling into the fine lines and wrinkles that I have. And before we get the video started, if you do gain some value from this video, please consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up, hitting that notification bell so that you can get notified when I upload a new video. So first off, I already did my skincare routine. So that's my regular skincare routine that I do every morning. But I want to show you something real quick. I probably did it, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half ago. But if you can see already how I have dryness coming in here and in here, and then around my nose and around my mouth area, but mainly it's in this area right here that drives me crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you what I do specifically for those areas, right, that so that my makeup doesn't settle in there, and like an hour or two after my makeup is on, I can look in the mirror and see that it looks patchy and dry looking and settling into those pores. So I already did my regular skincare routine, right, which consists of a cleanse with a gentle cleanser. I used a serum already, and then I used a very inclusive moisturizer. I'll leave a link to them down below in case you're interested. So already I have these dry areas that I need to deal with. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to use a peptide hyaluronic acid cream. I'm going to use this one here from Trinny London, and it's lightweight, but it's extremely hydrating. I'm going to go in, I'm just going to take a little bit out, kind of looks like that. It's very sheer, and I'm going to go in and I'm just going to press that into those areas where I get dry and I have fine lines and wrinkles. And that's just going to help with those dry areas. Whatever hyaluronic acid you have or peptide cream, you want to go in there, especially if it's a hydrating one, and just kind of add that. Another layer of hydration is really going to help. I like this one here because it has skincare properties in there. It has that Matrixyl 3000, which is going to go in there, and that's just going to help my skin repair itself. And then I go in and I use a hydrating primer on top of that. And I have this one here from Decay. It's the all-nighter. And this is the Ultra Glow Face Primer. And it has, it preps, it smooths, and it hydrates. Again, we want to go in there with as much hydration. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to take like a pump of that. And I'm going to go all over with that, okay? And I can already feel how my skin feels more hydrated. I'm just gonna press that into the skin. Now it's probably gonna feel a little tacky, and then I'm just gonna give that a few minutes and let that sink into the skin, but you can already see how my skin looks more hydrated. So this just kind of gives it a subtle radiant glow, and it's gonna help my makeup stay on longer, and it's not gonna settle into the fine lines as much. Now, and this retails for $36. And then the Plump Up, which you can use morning and night, it retails for $98. And this here is from Trinny London. It's amazing how quickly, once the fall hits, my skin, it gets tighter, and I can feel it getting tighter and drier like instantly. I feel it on my hands, I feel it on my face, and I feel it on my body. So what I like to do is to try not to stress my skin out too much, is to go in there and just really pamper it a little bit more and just try to lock in any type of hydration that I possibly can. And if that means using a foundation or a tinted serum that's a little bit lighter and that's going to help with that, then I'll go ahead and do that. In today's video, I'm going to be using this one here from Trinny London. This is a BFF De-Stress Tinted Serum, and it's in the shade Geminia. Okay, so it comes in a tube that looks like so, okay? It has this pump applicator on there, all right? I'm going to go in, I'm just going to take one pump, like that. And I'm going to go in and I'm just going to use my fingers. I'm just going to apply it like I would skincare. So let's just kind of dab this in all over and go in there and rub that in. So this has skincare properties in there, so it's really going to help my skin de-stress. And you can see it's very lightweight, and it's going to give it a soft, natural glow. I don't want to go in there with too much. I might just go around those areas where it needs a little bit more coverage, but I'm not using too much. I love the fact that it's so lightweight. I feel like I don't have anything on. So can you see how nicely that sits on the skin? It's lovely, right? And just kind of gives it this soft, healthy looking glow. All right, and I want to check out those dry areas. So even in those areas where it gets quite dry, it's not settling in there, okay? Because I do use retinol on my skin like 3 nights a week, and then I use an exfoliator the other night. So right now I've just finished up my 3rd day of using retinol. So now I'll go in and I'll start to use an exfoliator for the next couple of days, and that will just kind of remove any of those dead skin cells. Now this has a slight smell to it. This is the Fade Geminea, like I said, and it retails for $52. So now moving forward, if I want to go in, I need to use a concealer. And most of the concealers that I use on my dry skin are serum concealers. I don't use anything that says matte or anything that says long lasting. I really like to go in there with anything that says that it's serum and it's going to be hydrating for my under eye. So I have this one here. This is the BFF Serum Concealer, and it's another de-stressor for the eyes. And it comes in a tube that looks like so, and you have this little metal applicator here, which is going to be very cooling on the under eye and sort of help depuff it. And my under eye gets very dry too. I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna take my finger and just blend that in. I'm gonna press that in there. So this has vitamin C in it also, so that's gonna help with the brightness underneath my eye in case you do have dark circles. And if you do have puffiness, then this applicator is really gonna help cool down the eye. And then because it is a serum, it's just really gonna kind of blend into the skin. It's not gonna lay on top of it. And don't forget to go in here in that corner. Okay, can you see how light that looks under the eye there? Okay, let's go in and do the other side. You don't need too much, you only need a little bit. And it feels great going on with that applicator. Like it just feels like it's very cooling underneath there. I like the fact that you don't need that much. And I can tell you, I get very, very dry in here when I put concealers on sometimes. It looks like it's just sitting in those fine lines and wrinkles underneath there, but this feels great. Okay, so let's finish it up and we're just gonna go in, and I'm really keeping everything very hydrated. I'm gonna go in with this Make. This is called Heat Stroke, and it is a balm blush. Looks like so, okay? And I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of pop of color up high here and just press that into the skin. And that's just gonna kind of give my face a more lifted, youthful look. Okay, now we don't want to forget about those lips because my lips get really dry this time of year. And this BFF, this under eye concealer from Trinny London is $42. But remember, this has skincare properties in there. I love this blush because it just kind of melts into the skin, so everything looks very natural and sheer. Okay, so we want to lock everything in place. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this Urban Decay, okay? This is going to just kind of lock everything in place throughout the day and yet still keep it hydrated. And this also has cactus flower in there and vitamin C, and it's really just going to brighten. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to take a few pumps. And you can go in and spray your face a couple times throughout the day, especially in these cooler winter months with this, and it's just gonna be very refreshing. I went in and lined my lips with this Wonderskin, okay? This is a long-wearing lip liner. And now I'm gonna go in, and I cannot say enough good things about these Pixi Lip Masks. They are, it's kind of hard to, I have used plenty of lip masks, but none is as hydrating and feels as good as this one does on my lip. It comes in this little jar that looks like so. It has a little applicator that you can pull out, and you go in there, right? This is in the shade Calante. It doesn't give you a lot of color, and go in, and now I can either take and use this right from here, or I can put it on my finger if I want. I kind of like using my ring finger better because I have more control over where it's going, and it just really plumps up the lips, and it feels very, I don't know, they feel like fuller, plumper lips. I don't know. It's the best way I can explain it. And then to use it a couple times a day, I definitely feel a difference in the way that my lips, again, everything gets drier and tighter this time of year. So I want to make sure I go in there and lock in any of that hydration and just kind of keep everything as supple and hydrated as possible. So it just feels wonderful on the lips. I don't know, I just can't say enough good things about it. It feels like they're just plumper and fuller. Let me just kind of recap everything. To go in, do your regular skincare routine, then go over it using some type of serum, whether it's something like a peptide or anything that's just gonna lock in more hydration in your skin. I use this one here. It's called Plump Up from Trinny London. This happens to be a peptide and hyaluronic acid. Then I went in over the top of that with the hydrating primer. So whatever hydrating primer that you have, you just want one that's going to, anything that says glowy, dewy, healthy, hydrated is a really good primer to look for. Stay away from the matte. And then I went in, I used this tinted serum from Trinny London, and you saw how nicely that looks on the skin. Then I went in and I used this concealer, which has a lot of skincare properties in there, and it's also gonna brighten your under eye, and nothing's gonna settle into your fine lines and wrinkles. And then just to kind of blend everything together, I just went in there with this blush. This was from Make Beauty. I love the way it just kind of melted right into my my foundation. It doesn't look too heavy or powdery. I don't like that look. And I went in, I used this Pixi. This is the lip mask, right? But you can use it during the day. You can use it AM, PM, whenever you want. And it's really just gonna make your lips feel amazing. I don't know what else to say. My lips feel great. And then I just gave everything a final spray with this Urban Decay. This is the all-nighter, and it's the Vitamin C Cactus Flower Water Setting Spray. I have a free guide if you're interested. I'll link it in the description box below, and it is a guide to my healthy glowing skin and healthy hair. And it's just a list of the products that I've loved over the years and still continue to use and just really, you know, have improved my skin. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you gained some value from this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.